We've traveled coast to coast to bring you the behind the scenes of the biggest award show of the year.
We're talking about the Super Bowl of the entertainment industry, the Academy Awards.
WEBN's All Access Oscar Special starts now.
Welcome to WEBN's All Access Oscar Special. I'm Harrity Rodriguez.
And I'm Kayla Harrity. We've left the winter coats and cold weather behind for our Oscar gowns in California sunshine.
Someone else who left the East Coast winter for a hot Hollywood career is Henry Winkler.
And of course, we know him as the Fonz. Justine Frostad sat down with the Hollywood legend for the inside scoop on the Academy Awards. Justine?
Because Henry Winkler is a member of the Academy, he gets to vote on the winners. He gave me an all-access pass to his Oscar predictions.
I think that Annette Bening should get the Best Actress. I think that Christian Bale should win for a transformational performance.
The Social Network is another one of Winkler's favorite flicks of the year. He claimed the movie has no target audience because of how well it was written, and Winkler believes writing is the key to any great film.
Writing is the beginning and the end. If it is not on the page, it's not on the stage.
Winkler described many of this year's nominated films as candid reflections of real life. Winkler said this is a pleasant change from the average modern movie, which makes love and life look easy.
When you're lying in the field and you're having a picnic and the girl puts her head on your tummy, can I tell you, after a little while it gets really heavy. And you're thinking, oh my God, will she please move? Oh, I can't, oh, I'm getting really, this is hurting. It's not like in the movies where they're lying together. It's just fantastic. You know, unless, of course, you like the situation where you've got abs that can, like, support the head for a long time. Head's heavy.
No matter if your film is a romance or a thriller, Winkler says when you're nominated for an Oscar, you want to win.
When your tush hits the seat, you want to win.
This industry legend has been in the spotlight for over 4 decades, and he's not done yet. He will soon start acting in the new feature film, Here Comes the Boom. Back to you on the red carpet.
Thanks, Justine. The Oscars are all about the stars, the fashion, and the parties. So sometimes those who work the hardest often go unnoticed.
But we're not going to let that happen. Chad Boyle spoke with 2 of the most important people behind this year's Oscars. Chad?
This year, the moving sets and automation will take center stage. Academy President Tom Sherrick and set director Joe Celli are bringing a new theme to this year's show. It's called Glam.
The designer was looking to do something a little more glam versus glamorous. And if you think of glamorous, you think of sort of old Hollywood. Glam is a much more young take on it, and James and Ann, I think, certainly bring that to this show.
Academy President Tom Sherrick agrees that glam represents young, talented Hollywood. Sherrick and Joe Celli are also trying to incorporate more automation and high-tech computer techniques than previous Oscar ceremonies.
There's a lot more automation on our set this year than ever before. We rely on, computers and motors to drive all of our scenery out on stage, and that's not something we've used in the past, primarily because it's a live show and God forbid something were to go wrong.
What does it take to put the show together? Sherrick says Oscar producers who help put the show together need to have an idea about the Academy's goal.
For somebody that understands the Academy, who has an understanding of the history of the Academy.
Sherrick says another change in the production of this year's show is that the Oscar winners can get their plates printed right onto their Oscar. In previous years, they had to send them away. This year, they will also be showing the process on Oscar.com. It's evident that no decision has been rushed in the planning of the big show. Both men have been meeting together since July. Back to you, Kayla and Harrity.
Thanks, Chad. Harrity, I know you're quite the foodie, so you've probably wondered what the chef would be preparing for this year's ball.
Well, that's true, but I'm not wondering anymore. That's because I got a sneak peek at this year's menu. Wolfgang Puck let me cook, he let me taste, and I must say those attending the ball will not be disappointed.
It's the Hollywood bash of the year, so it's only fitting the food will be just as Oscar-worthy. Wolfgang Puck gave us an exclusive demo on how you can make your Oscar party your town's Hollywood hit. Puck's theme this year is seafood. The Austrian-American chef even did a take on the lobster roll, but added the LA twist and made lobster tacos.
we help you guys in Boston. So we brought in a lot of lobster, shrimps,
Yes.
mussels,
Flush the money
lamb.
into the economy,
I
right?
know. I hear
We
you
need
need the
it.
money over there.
You're looking at this, it smells delicious. I wish they can smell it through the camera.
All right, come over here and take a close up. All right, now look at that. See, now we are talking.
Beautiful colors. And for those who are vegan or vegetarian, they can make it all vegetables.
Exactly. Natalie Portman is a vegan vegetarian, you know, so we're gonna make your one only with vegetable stock and lots of vegetables
So you
in
do
here.
cater to the population of actors that
We-
are vegetarian.
We do something for everybody.
That looks delicious.
So you can see the rice is nice and fluffy. Look at that.
The colors are beautiful.
Yeah.
Can I give it a try?
Yeah, sure. Let's first
Hey.
taste it and see if it's cooked here.
I like how you taste.
Almost
You taste with
ready,
your
yeah.
hands.
So you we put a
That's
little
delicious.
chili flake, a little spicy.
But this isn't the first time Puck has cooked this dish. The Academy got a preview of his menu weeks before the show.
It's really a last-minute thing. Even we serve 1,600 people, but we don't think in August or September what we're gonna do in February for the Oscars. We really think a month before.
And when the cooking mitts are off and the food is served, you can find Puck on the floor mingling with guests and enjoying the ball.
At 11:30, I finish. I go outside, talk to some of my friends, like Jeff Bridges and so on. You know, we have a lot of people who we know for many years. And then I sit down and open a bottle of Krug champagne, and that's it.
The food was spectacular. Even though I don't eat beef, I had to have a taste of that Kobe burger. You only get one chance to be in the kitchen with Wolfgang Puck.
I'm jealous. I wish you had saved me one of those Kobe burgers.
I'm sorry, but they were not passing out any extras.
Okay, you're off the hook. So once the show's done, it's time for us to party. Do you think we can sneak into the governor's ball?
Don't count on that, but Kate Andrews did get a behind-the-scenes look at the biggest party of the year. Kate?
Event planner Cheryl Chiquetto gave me the all-access pass to Oscar's official after-party. The ambiance and decor of this star-studded bash is not your average party.
Everyone that comes in the door to me as a VIP, as a celebrity, I don't see people as being celebrities. I see them all being guests. I think they'd like them to come in and say, oh, wow, I'm in my own place now. I'm at the governor's ball.
And what a party she's got planned. Taking her cue from iconic Hollywood clubs from the 1940s and 50s, Chiquetto's vision is a luxurious oasis for Hollywood's elite.
Our theme is what I think is our interpretation of a modern-day Macambo.
And then there's the decadent palm tree in the center of the room.
I really was inspired to create what you see behind me with this huge, massive centerpiece, and the Swarovski crystals are the trunk of our governor's ball, El Macambo palm tree.
And she hopes that everyone will enjoy the lavish affair she has mapped out.
I see everybody coming in and, you know, drinking and having a great time and eating.
After the show ends, the party begins. So after all of her hard work, Cheryl Chiquetto is looking forward to relaxing underneath that palm tree. Back to you, Kayla and Anaritis.
Thanks, Kate. This party is a getaway for celebrities who are used to the LA scene.
Stay tuned because the Hub is going Hollywood. We'll bring you exclusive interviews with the Beantown nominees.
There's still more to come on WEBN's all-access Oscars special.
Now filming a pilot for awards in all different cities, and then challenge me. I'm a superstar. You don't live.
Welcome back to WEBN's all-access Oscars special. We are switching gears and heading east. This year, the dirty water has taken over.
3 Massachusetts blockbusters have the golden ticket into this year's show. The Fighter, The Social Network, and The Town were all shot in Boston and have received multiple nominations.
Justine Frostad went from the red carpet to the boxing ring to give us an exclusive with one of those nominated films. Justine?
The Fighter brings boxing to the big screen, but it's not just about the big fight. The movie is about family struggles and love. I sat down with the Fighter's infamous family.
Each of us have our own individual identity, but yet still kind of bring it together as a group.
Melissa McMeekin played one of the sisters in The Fighter. She says the actors not only had to take on the personalities of the sisters, but they also had to take on their appearances.
I actually, believe it or not, was one of the more pulled together sisters. I got to wear a little lipstick and I got to wear heels to the boxing gym.
The sisters who played the tough, gritty women have been critically acclaimed for their natural chemistry and stark dynamic. Jenna Lamia plays another one of the tough sisters. Lamia says when she arrived on the set, most of the other actors had already started to transform.
It was like a group of, 5 girls with bleach blonde hair, and some of them really have an authentic Boston accent, so it was like, how you doing? Welcome, we're all here.
Erica McDermott says the casting director doubted her ability to step into the tough girl role.
And when the casting director got to me, she said that she thought I might be too pretty or not tough enough. And so I got in her face and started swearing and told her to give me a part in the movie.
Jack McGee plays the father of Mickey Ward and his sisters.
I met George Ward. I did spend an hour with him one day and then a couple hours another day. Just get an idea and a bit of the flavor as to what his role was within the family. And he pretty much told me, as I had thought, his main objective was to stay out of the way.
The sisters in The Fighter definitely didn't stay out of the way like their father. Lamia says seeing the real family interact naturally was the best research she could have asked for.
Mickey and Dickie gave us their sisters' numbers. We called them up. They were so excited. They said, actually, we're out having a drink, come meet us. It happened to be that Sherry, the one I was playing, and Gail, Red Dog, the one Dundry was playing, were hanging out. And we drove around and found them in my little rental car. They were so welcoming. They let us into their living room. We stood around in their kitchen talking for over an hour, and I have never had an experience like that.
The Fighter gave the other films a 1-2 punch with its 7 nominations. The city of Lowell will be watching the Oscars to see if it gets the Hollywood recognition it deserves. Back to you, Kayla and Anna Rittis.
Thanks, Justine. And now the cameras turn across the Charles River to the prestigious Harvard University for The Social Network.
It seems the film is just as popular as Facebook. It has earned nominations in 8 categories.
Brittany Berkowitz breaks down the Ivy League scandal surrounding Facebook. Brittany?
The movie was filled with the perfect combination of love, betrayal, and brains. Let's check out the work that went into the movie.
Eduardo Saverin shows up and he's angry. He's been betrayed by his friend. He hates Mark Zuckerberg. He was telling me this whole story about how he had been screwed out of Facebook. And I had never heard any of this, and I was kind of blown away by it.
Facebook's origins are revealed in Ben Mesrick's book called The Accidental Billionaires. However, the story hit the silver screen thanks to Trigger Street Productions.
What attracted me to the idea of the story was there is this phenomenon of Facebook that we have, but this detail of it that no one really knew how it started.
The film's producer, Dana Brunetti, says the movie's muscle isn't the media site itself, but the story behind it.
It could have been about the invention of the automobile or of the toaster, and it still would have been just as intriguing.
This idea is potentially worth millions of dollars. Millions!
Whether the members involved with the social network worked behind the scenes or in front of the camera, they knew they were dealing with a project much bigger than themselves.
That's what's so powerful about this movie, is that no matter what the truth is, it's going to be forever, it's going to seal in people's minds in some form that this is what happened.
It didn't hurt that the film had the dynamic duo David Fincher and Aaron Sorkin working together to create the movie.
When I thought about it, I just thought, that's a no-brainer. You have to be part of this. And once I'd read the script, I knew when I read the script, and with the team of people that they'd assembled, when you've got that writer and that director, I mean, come on, you'd have to be an absolute fool to not want to be a part of that.
I don't know if you heard about this new website I launched.
No.
The Facebook.
Pence wasn't the only one who believed in the film. Those who were involved from the beginning were convinced that it was gold.
I can't wait to see Sorkin go up and get an Oscar, which I think is going to be the ultimate moment for me as an author, to see your book end up winning someone an Oscar.
I came out and I'm like, wow, that's really good. And I turned to Kevin, I'm like, am I crazy, or is that a really good movie? And he told me then, which I thought he was crazy, because if you're not nominated for an Oscar, he goes, I'll be surprised.
Just like they say in the movie, you'd rather catch a big fish than a lot of little ones. And it looks like The Social Network may be a 3,000-pound marlin. What's the word on your end of the carpet?
It's true, Brittany, The Social Network has captivated audiences all over the world. But now we're going from Cambridge to Charlestown, where Ben Affleck directed his blockbuster hit, The Town. It is a flick that keeps audiences on the edge of their seats.
The actors from The Town play gun-slinging bank robbers with creative costuming. Kate Andrews spoke with some of the actors who pretend to be these Boston-based criminals. Kate?
Fenway Park is the backdrop for the climax of this Oscar-nominated movie. The film makes any bank owner question their security.
It was crazy because when I grew up, maybe the second or third job I had was as a vendor at Fenway Park, so I never thought I'd be shooting an AK-47 in Fenway.
That's rapper-actor Slane, who plays Albert Glonsey McGlone in The Town. And as you can hear, he is a native Bostonian. It was that accent that local casting director Carol Pickman was looking for.
My staff and I did a lot of going into the neighborhoods. We held 4 or 5 open casting calls, just looking for neighborhood people, people with authentic Boston accents.
And that's how she found Owen Burke, who played Desmond Eldon and completed the bank robbing quartet.
I went to an open casting call for the town with no acting background. I just kind of went to see what would happen.
And though he was a bit intimidated acting next to heavy hitters like Ben Affleck and Jeremy Renner, Burke admits it was the Beantown bond with Slane that helped him adjust.
Slane made my experience on set a lot more relaxed, just because me and him have so much in common about like growing up in Boston, not the same way maybe other people sort of came into movies, where I'd say we're definitely more like just like your average Boston guy, just struggling along in the city, you know, not really like Hollywood people. So I hit it off with him. We knew a lot of the same people from growing up.
One thing he didn't have to worry about was helping out his co-stars with their Boston accents.
Those guys, they had it all down.
The Boston accents in the town seem Oscar-worthy, and maybe one of the reasons why it's up for Hollywood's top award. Jeremy Renner is up for Best Supporting Actor, and his Boston accent is wicked real. Back to you, Harrity and Kayla.
Thanks, Kate. An interesting bit is that Jeremy Renner visited local bars to hone his Boston accent.
So if you want to hone your skills in predicting the future, you may want to talk to Ben Lyons, because the nominations are in and the bets are on.
He's E! Entertainment's resident critic and go-to expert on all things Oscars. Brittany Berkowitz coaxed him into giving her this year's winners.
Ben Lyons actually made me question my original Oscar picks. I wish I'd waited until after the interview to place my bets.
You have biopics like The King's Speech and 127 Hours and The Social Network and The Fighter. You have big studio films like Toy Story and Inception, and indies like Kids Are All Right and Winter's Bone. So a nice selection of films and performances being honored this year.
We bring the subject into that dream, and they fill it with their subconscious.
When it comes to movies, Ben Lyons knows what makes the Academy roar. While fans try to predict which flicks will pull in the most Oscar votes, the E! News film correspondent says you can't always go by the Globes.
The Social Network was the early favorite, came out the gate winning all the critics awards in all different cities, and then you had the Golden Globes. And Golden Globes used to be the kind of the real precursor to the Oscars, and now I think it's lost that.
Get up, you can't sit there, get up! Why not? Chair.
This award season, Ben bets on biopic The King's Speech to be crowned Best Picture.
It's got 12 nominations, supporting noms for Jeffrey Rush and Helena Bonham Carter, and Firth is a lock for Best Actor. Tom Hooper probably right now the favorite for Best Director. King's Speech is just that Academy-friendly movie, plays to a little bit older audience than Social Network does.
Lyons didn't dance around his pick for Best Actress.
Performance of the year is Natalie Portman. Yeah, man or woman. I thought what she did with that role, it was iconic.
We'll see if his predictions come true this Oscar season. Back to you.
Now that you've had a look into our hometown and the Oscar predictions, it's time to take a break.
Fashionista Tim Gunn will show you how to make it work.
And you'll see how intestines are made. Well, at least for the big screen.
Be on your game.
If you reflect.
This one's also one of the...
Welcome back to WEBN's All-Access Oscar Special.
Harrity, what do you think of when you hear the words blood, intestines, and severed heads?
That you may be watching way too many horror flicks.
Close, but I was leaning more towards special effects. Victoria Berglund visited special effects technician Matt Corrigan in his workshop. Victoria?
Matt Corrigan sure knows how to create lifelike props, and he even let me get my hands dirty.
Beginning of sophomore year, I did a really small sci-fi, I guess, thriller where someone got burned and then had to eat their own leg. So I started doing some special effects makeup for that, and the second I started, I was hooked.
Matt Corrigan does special effects makeup and props for films and television shows. One of his most recent projects was working on horses for the Oscar-nominated film True Grit.
For True Grit, I think we made 2 different skins, horse skins for that. I think one was Jeff Bridges' horse, and one was Blackie, which was the little girl.
Corrigan's favorite part of his job is the end product.
I can show you, I made that. That was in my hand at one point. I love that. That's so cool.
Now it's time to see Corrigan take the work from his hands and put it into mine.
All you need for intestines is liquid latex, and there's a bunch of different kinds. Take a piece of paper towel, roll it up, dip in there, and just paint it doesn't have to be perfect, but just a slathering on there. Now you paint on that. Perfect.
I learned the way they do it on the inside. Corrigan took me through the process of making bloody intestines and torn flesh.
This is awesome.
Before we wrapped, he told me how to make a few other props, and I even got to try out a horse from True Grit. I had the guts to learn, but this job takes brains, and that's where Corrigan comes in.
Well, that's the thing. As long as someone thinks that looks real.
Creating those special effects is more challenging than it seems, and it can get really messy. I can tell from working with Matt that it takes a lot of patience. Back to you, Kayla and Harrity.
Thanks, Victoria. Now we've taken a look at the movies, but what about the fashion?
Who better than Mr. Fashionista to tell us how to make it work? Katie Bryant found out how to do it from Tim Gunn himself. Katie?
On Project Runway, Tim Gunn helps designers tap into their creativity. But here on the red carpet, he'll be telling us what works and what hurts.
Tim Gunn has traded the design studios of Project Runway for a different kind of catwalk, the Oscars red carpet. He's one of the 4 co-hosts of the Oscars pre-show.
Robin Roberts, yes, absolutely, from Good Morning America, and Maria Menounos from Access Hollywood, and we have Krista Smith from Vanity Fair magazine, the West Coast editor. It's an incredible group, and what I love about the 4 of us is that we each come from a different place, and we're all so different. So in terms of covering the red carpet for the official pre-show, you couldn't have more diversity. It's fantastic.
In addition to being the famous face of Project Runway, Gunn is also the chief creative officer for Liz Claiborne. While television reporting isn't his occupation, Tim Gunn says he's no stranger to the red carpet.
I've done red carpet reportage before, a number of times before, and I get to do it being me. I don't have to pretend to be anybody else, so that gives me a level of comfort being here.
And he's not intimidated by his famous co-hosts.
Maria Menounos is Maria Menounos. I couldn't possibly be her. I don't think she'd want to be me.
Tim Gunn will critique the stars' ensembles as they walk the red carpet. And unlike some award shows, the Oscars is fashion's big night out.
If the other red carpet shows are considered weddings, this is a coronation. And people really care about how they look here because they're under, in many ways, more scrutiny than they are with any other red carpet. So there's a tremendous amount of pressure to look fabulous.
Red carpet outfits can be hit or miss, but Gunn says catering to your personal style is always carpet chic.
For me, the clothes are always about how they appear on the women, or men for that matter.
His prediction for what the stars will be wearing is to expect the unexpected.
Tim Gunn will make the best dressed list, but will the stars? We will soon find out. Back to you.
It is evident that the biggest night in Hollywood attracts press from all over the world.
Reporters who cover the Oscars spend months preparing to make sure they know everything about everyone who comes down the red carpet.
Brittany Berkowitz talked with some of the most famous faces in entertainment reporting. Brittany?
Award season isn't just for the stars. Some industry professionals gave me the inside scoop about what it takes to cover such a high-profile event.
Preparations for the Oscars are far greater than for any other award show, period, end of story. It takes many rehearsals. I'm doing the pre-show for ABC. We've had many rehearsals. We'll have more tomorrow just before the show, so it's pretty intense.
I guess you ramp it up a little bit before every red carpet event that you're going to work, that you're going to be interviewing a ton of stars, because it's unexpected.
In addition to bringing their A game to the red carpet, the reporters are most concerned about where they will stand to interview the stars.
Location is very important. I mean, I have the premier spot on the Oscar red carpet this year. I don't think I've ever had a better spot in my life.
These journalists eat, sleep, and breathe the entertainment industry, especially during Oscar season. Back to you, Harrity and Kayla.
Thanks, Brittany. It's almost time for the show, so stay in your seats because we'll have more from the red carpet.
And we'll show you what the stars have to say about their Oscar wins after the break.
Shutting off. This one is one that they have found. There's a great deal.
Welcome back to WEBN's all-access Oscar special. The stars have lined the red carpet, and we are ready to see who is going to be taking home the golden statue.
We've been flying all over the country, and now we're heading to Staten Island to visit some fifth graders. I had the chance to sing with the PS22 Chorus members in their school auditorium. The students have been practicing their big debut at the Kodak Theater. Take a look.
Mr. B! Mr. B! Mr. B!
Staten Island is going Hollywood, and Mr. B is their golden ticket. Greg Breinberg, or as the fifth graders call him, Mr. B, is behind the voices of the PS22 Chorus.
I knew from the get-go that there was something special about what was going on in this auditorium. I used to say for years, they're like the best kept secret in Staten Island, and it's kind of cool that the secret's out in such a big way.
This Staten Island secret is going on a field trip of a lifetime. They will wave their parents goodbye and say hello to Tinseltown, where they'll perform at the Oscars.
I thought it was unreal. I couldn't believe it. I never thought for a minute that we'd be allowed to do it. I was convinced that, the Department of Education would nix it, because this is a huge endeavor bringing 65 kids out to LA. But lo and behold, they got behind this and are supporting it 100%, and we're gonna make this happen one way or another.
The dreams they dare to dream really are coming true. Anne Hathaway surprised them with an Oscar invitation, and the Academy chose Somewhere Over the Rainbow for their big debut.
The kids reacted as expected. I knew they would go nuts. They, you know what the thing is about these kids? It's like, it's all in the delivery. It's like, I can say, guys, guess what? We're gonna sing at the dentist, and they'll be super thrilled and psyched.
The fifth graders will put their own spin on the typical red carpet attire.
I think I want to wear my chorus shirt. It represents us.
And after the red carpet is rolled up, there is only one thing on the minds of the PS22 Chorus: a slumber party.
The part that I can't wait for is to sleep in the same room with my friends.
So the votes have been cast and the winners have been chosen, but those who know will never tell. That is until tonight, of course.
Rick and I completed the ballot counting on Friday, and so we've known the results since Friday afternoon, and only 2 people in the world who do, and we'll keep those results secret until they're read on air tomorrow night.
And now the moment we've all been waiting for, the winners' reactions.
Victoria Berglund was in the press room where it all went down. Victoria?
I saw the winners right after their acceptance speeches. Even after 83 years, the excitement of winning an Oscar never fades.
I think we always, from the point that we invested in the project right at its inception, from the point of the script, we had faith in the story and David Seidler's telling of it, and these campaigns run and they peak and they trough, but we never lost any faith with the film that we had.
The Academy governors had faith too. This year's Oscars recognized The King's Speech as one of the top movies of the year. It took home 4 wins. The film won for directing, original screenplay, best actor in a leading role, and the top honor of best picture. After accepting their Oscar, the film's producers went to the press room where I was able to ask them a question.
Victoria Berglund, WEBN Boston. So with such a close race this year, how were you feeling before your name was announced?
I think we were incredibly nervous all the way through. Obviously, when Tom Hooper won the directing award, that increased our nerves because it felt like it was looking more likely.
I mean, the sort of strange irony of it all is that we probably, amongst other things, really wanted to do this project because we hated public speaking, and the irony is that the pressure was on in the most public speaking event in the world.
Someone who had no problem with speaking publicly about the impact of the film was Colin Firth, who took home Best Actor award.
It just shines a light on something which badly needed it.
It was a night of honor, the Academy honoring the outstanding films of the year, as well as the actors and actresses honoring their characters. Best Actress Natalie Portman described her perspective of her character, Nina, in Black Swan.
I really see it as this young woman's coming of age, and that she becomes a woman. She starts out a girl and becomes a woman by finding her own artistic voice and sort of killing the child version of herself.
Melissa Leo plays an on-screen mother of 2 boxers from Lowell, Massachusetts. She took home the Supporting Actress Award. Leo mentioned the impact of shooting the movie where it all took place.
And we were right there in the town, hearing the gossip and hearing the language and the dialect and all of that. It was very, very helpful to the process.
Now that the golden statues have been handed out, the Oscar winners are looking forward to taking a break.
I think I'm going to cook a lot.
Staying in bed and not having to do my makeup or hair and keeping my sweats on.
Whether they went home with an Oscar in hand or not, this year's Academy Awards recognized the best of the best in the movie business. Back to you.
Thanks, Victoria. There are no more awards to be handed out, so it's time for the stars to clear their seats and head to the after party.
The red carpet is about to be rolled up, so we are out of here too.
We hope you enjoyed WEBN's All Access Oscar Special as much as we did.
We'll see you next year at the Oscars.